Welcome to the quietest ones in the room with your host Trey. I gotta say it, just the fact that you've clicked onto this video and you are listening to the sound of my voice, you by far are the most intelligent people on the face of the planet. So once again, thank you for joining me. I am very glad to be back. It has been days since I've been able to record a video. And it's simply been because the heat in the state of North Carolina has been extreme. And even now I have this fan running, you probably hear it, but it's been difficult to come into my space where I record and do it comfortably. But I'm back now. And in my time being gone, I've thought about something that I want to talk about. Something that I believe can add value to you in your life if you're going through or will go through what I'm going to talk about. What I want to talk about from my experience is Business 101. Business 101 in the sense that when you think about business, how do you start it? That being the biggest point that would lead to success is you actually starting a business. Sometimes you get online and you talk to different people, and there's this impression that just because you started a business, that somehow, because you're passionate about it, is going to lead to success. That's not how it works. Furthermore, you'll probably come across people who would tell you they can guarantee success for you based on some tool you buy or some course you take, some book you read. That's not how it works. So what I want to do is I want to talk about it, give some perspective, and it might not just assist with business, but just life in general. So for me, I've been working for myself for almost 7 years now. I started out working from a very young age, 16 years old. But before I ever started working, the first type of labor I ever had was raking yards for money as a teenager. And me and one of my friends in my neighborhood, I really enjoyed it. We made some decent money at that age. We're talking $20 a month. But I just remember that feeling I would get when the job would be complete. I'd see a smile on the customer's face and we would get a few dollars. And then I'd be able to take that money and buy something that I wanted. So I got that bug of being an entrepreneur when I was really young. But then I got into a W-2 job working for a fast food spot. The first job was actually an Italian restaurant. And I'll fast forward a little bit. After all these jobs and then going to college, when I was in college, I started a business. And long story short, that business was valued at $1 million plus. And I learned so much from that experience. I had successes and I certainly had failures. And I'll just focus on the failures because I think that'll add a lot of value in helping with this conversation about Business 101. What I learned from the first business I had when I was in college is that when you have an idea about anything you want to do as it pertains to a business, the first thing you want to do is legitimize it. You want to come up with a name. You want to build in your mind's eye how things will function, how it would make people feel. Who will use it? But you want to legitimize it by giving it a name, and you want to, more importantly, legitimize it by incorporating your business. So you may say, oh, I'm just going to be a sole proprietor. That's fine. Pros and cons to that you can look into. An LLC. That's fine. Pros and cons. An LLP. Sure, that's fine. Pros and cons. An S Corp. Sure. A corporation. So there are many different ways you can set up and legitimize your business that are tailored to your long-term goals. If you want to provide shares, you want to go with a corporation or S corporation. If you want to start a business with yourself and maybe some partners, you start a partnership. Or you do an LLC, you can do an LLP, which is a limited liability partnership. Or you can do an LLC. But whatever you decide, there are certainly pros and cons. And depending on the state you reside in, there are certain requirements that you need to uphold. So that is basic. And that's what I had to do with every business I've ever started. And to me, the name has always been so important because that is the brand. That is the first time you really start to think about what the brand is going to be for your business. So you come up with a name and then you incorporate. But besides all of that, and that's a really exciting process to go through, starting a business, coming up with a name, incorporating. And this costs money and it's exciting. But during this process, as it pertains to Business 101 and what people generally don't talk about, at least from my perspective, I don't hear people talk about it, but it also applies to life, is the amount of rejection that you'll come across. The amount of doubt that you'll come across. You will literally have people who've been close to you, maybe your entire life, maybe your parents, maybe a sibling, maybe a spouse, maybe a brother or sister, maybe a long-term friend. And you will see someone surrounding you will doubt how well and how successful your business can be, especially if they've never seen you do it before. And on top of it, if you've already done it before and you've been successful, someone may just simply doubt you because they'll think to themselves, can you do it again? Now, I'm someone who has done multiple businesses, and each of the businesses that I've started have been six-figure businesses. And what I've learned over time is what I've already shared. What legitimizes the business, what has always given me energy, but also over time, what I've learned about how you have to navigate people. You have to have a narrow focus. You have to have a razor focus on on what it is that you want to accomplish. You're going to have people who try to give you ideas that are not aligned with the vision you have for your business. You're going to have people that if you're not successful by a certain time, they're going to ask you, do you think that you've made a mistake to go this direction? You're going to have people that when you tell them, after you've done all your market analysis and you figured out if you just capture 1% of the market, what type of money it can generate for you, you're going to have people that tell you, you sound crazy. That if you tell people you're starting a business that's going to generate you millions of dollars, you're going to have some people around you who doubt it. But here's the good news. You have you, which is the engine. You are the engine of ensuring that the business is successful. And over time, I want to talk about ways in which I have learned you build successful businesses. But I'll give you one point right now, which is, I'll give you 2 points. One is it starts with you. And two, you have to surround yourself with people who understand the vision and aren't greedy. Let me repeat that. You have to deal with people who understand the vision and who are not greedy. And all of my business dealings, the one thing that I've learned slows down the progress of business and can actually ruin it is having people who are involved who just solely care about the money. And they'll do whatever it takes to just get the money. They're not concerned with paying people fair, giving away equity, doing sensible things in business because of greed. See, because sometimes if you start a business and you understand, hey, this is a business that can generate hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. For some people, they want as much of that money as they can possibly get for themselves without it being to the benefit of others who will be a part of the vision or even the customers. And so that happens so often. But I think in the early stages, what I want to emphasize, if you're starting a business now and you're focused, you're laser focused, you cannot worry about the haters, those that doubt you. You should only worry about those who will support you. And oftentimes, I'll be honest, for me, I have never had people close to me. Maybe my first business, I kind of take that back slightly, but over time, I'd say I learned this, which is don't rely on those close to you to support your business. It's in your best to find champions of what you do who are complete strangers of yours, and you build with them over time. Typically your customers. Business partners, you might know this person in your personal life, your friend, your brother, you want to start a business with them, fine. You too see the vision, but a cousin of a cousin, a friend of a friend, friends you've known forever, they may not support you, and you shouldn't judge them for it. That's one mistake that I think a lot of entrepreneurs make. Because you're so emotional about the business, you get bent out of shape that others who you've known and care about and know that you would support them if given the same situation, that they are not supporting you. But you have to get past that so you can focus on being the best version of yourself, so you can build the best business you possibly can. It's a serious process. And again, I want to emphasize the way you started off is come up with a name, envision it, think about it, and you incorporate it, and you run as fast as you can to be successful. So I just wanted to share that part. I have more that I want to talk about in the world of business. But anyway, please share your thoughts in the comment section. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. And as I always say, ladies and gentlemen, until next time.